All right, fully equipped listeners, and we got some viewers here. We got the cameras going. I basically just went through an amusement park for golf clubs. I'm here at True Spec Golf in Boston with Ryan Carey from Golden Age Golf Auctions. Ryan, you just brought through some of the most special putters in history that you were auctioning off on Golden Age. Kind of go through what we're looking at right here in the bag.
All right, we'll go with the oldest first. We went with a club right around 1895, 1900, wooden putter, made in Carnoustie, Scotland, Robert Simpson. Looks like a hybrid, looks like a modern day hybrid.
It does.
That's what you noticed.
Soft feel.
Super soft feel, cool club. I told you before, like you could put this in your bag tomorrow and putt just fine with it. It works. Next, chronologically, we had Bobby Jones's Calamity Jane.
Now, one of the most famous putters in history right there.
Absolutely. It was old when Bobby Jones, it was a couple decades older when Bobby Jones purchased it. Mm-hmm. And now iconic because he won the Grand Slam with it and everything. And this club, this is a production model one that they sold to the public in the 1930s. It was incredibly popular at the time. It has a really cool pyrotone shaft where, they were doing that transition from steel from wood shafted to steel. And people didn't like the look of steel, even though we all agreed that it was better. So they, for a little short period of time, 1930s, they put like a brown film over the shaft. So I've always loved that about that putter. And Bobby Jones couldn't sell those putters until he retired from golf. So he wins the Grand Slam 1930, retires from golf, then he starts cashing in. He does this Warner Brothers deal, does that video series. They actually played them in movie theaters, that video series. And that's also when Spalding signed the deal with him. Made a ton of money, sold a ton of those, and that's the Calamity Jane. Next up, we got the putter that started Ping. So this is Carsten Solheim in his garage, making a putter. It made a loud noise. He called the company Ping.
I gotta get this putter
It's
out,
like
see
a
if we
tuning
can get
fork.
this.
You've heard like a tuning fork, whatever. It's awesome.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear that on the podcast, but it is high pitched, and I hit some putts with it. It feels different than anything I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, it's crazy because this was revolutionary at the time.
Yep.
But it's got a weird sound, and the feel is not what you and I would want in a putter feel. But Carsten had this idea, and obviously, shortly thereafter, he made the Anzer putter and stuff, which changed golf history in terms of putters and clubs. And just some cool stuff, and this is the one that started it all. It's called the No model. He made several other putters at the same time, but this is the one that has a true Ping sound. Others make a little bit of one. This one's like a tuning fork. It's really cool. Then you've got this monstrosity. You've got Jack in '86 using a McGregor response putter.
Actually signed by Jack on the face.
Yeah, I did. I only had an autographed one in the auction. We putt with it anyways. The autograph's still there. I think we're good to go. But this one, I mean, you don't even have to be much of a golfer to know that this is just an abnormal shape, but it worked for 1 week and it changed history. And so that was a really, really famous putter there. And then, of course, we went with Tiger Woods' backup gamer, Scotty Cameron, made from him probably in 2002. Tiger famously didn't put it in play, only used the one that he still has for 14 of his 15 majors.
So I know we talked about this already, but what does the backup actually mean, and where did it come from? Like, what's the story behind it and how it got into your hands?
Yeah, so backup, when you hear the word backup, some people think like, what is that? He didn't use it then or whatever. Well, Scotty Cameron has made lots of putters for Tiger. Nike made putters for Tiger. Other companies made putters for Tiger. But Scotty Cameron famously made Tiger's, red dot Circle T that we all know. It doesn't have the Circle T on that one, I guess, but the head cover does. Famously takes the weight out, fills it in with red, cherry apple red, and becomes iconic. Well, Scotty Cameron, like I'm sure with all of his players, would make them other putters. Sometimes they were identical, sometimes they were slightly different, but intended to be the backup should anything happen to the original. Should the gamer could be damaged. Tiger wants to try something slightly different. And so legend has it that Scotty Cameron, those early years when they were working together with Tiger, that he would make 1 or 2 a year, and that would be the backup should it ever need to be called into duty. Now, almost any other golfer on the planet, they did call in their backup. Tiger never did. And so it's kind of become this famous putter because of it, that the backup is more desirable in collectors' minds. Mm-hmm. It's more valuable than even putters that Tiger's used, other than that red dot. And then, of course, the 97 Masters putter would also be pretty special. But Tiger still has those. He'll never sell them. The backup is the next best thing.
I was a bit nervous hitting putts with it, even just carrying it around and us handing it off to each other. I was trying to be extra careful because I know the value's pretty high on this. What do you think it's going to auction off for?
It'll definitely sell for over $100,000. It'll definitely be in the six figures. We don't know. It is the true piece that transcends even golf. We'll have people that are, maybe they're baseball card collectors. Maybe they collect other sports. If they want to own one golf piece, it's probably going to be this. So I think from this era of golf, the red dot Scotty Cameron will be kind of we call it the modern relic. It's like the modern grail, that it's going to be the one collected, that this putter we know 100 years from now will be collected. Will people still want autographed flags? Will they still want this other stuff? Maybe, maybe not. They will want this putter. I think it's going to be the one piece that comes out of the modern game that's kind of going to define the era as far as a collectible.
Would you say this is the most valuable collectible that you've had at Golden Age?
No, we've been fortunate to sell quite a few Masters trophies and other items. People love their trophies. In our last auction, we had a Masters trophy that sold for over $500,000.
Oh, man.
So there are more valuable pieces. With that said, from an investment standpoint, I asked a Scotty Cameron collector the other day, a very prominent one, whether this putter will one day, I don't care if it's a year from now or 10 years from now, will this putter one day sell for over $1 million? And he said 100%.
Wow. What do you think Tiger's actual putter that he won 14 majors with, if that hit the auction block, what do you think?
So a couple years ago, I was asked that same question, and my answer at the time was $3 to $5 million. I am absolutely wrong, and it's way more than that.
I was going to say that sounds low.
It's a lot of money. The memorabilia market, especially in the top end, has gone crazy. Just the other day, Honus Wagner baseball card sold for over $6 million, setting the new baseball record, which I believe gets set about every month now. So if that one were to, it would be among the most valuable pieces of memorabilia in existence. Baseball and everything. It would rival all of them. The only thing I can think of in golf that could surpass it, this is a little wild, but Alan Shepard's club that he hit on the moon.
Ooh.
How about this? There's 2 golf balls on the moon.
I never even thought about that.
Exactly, they're there. I believe they've both been located. We know exactly where they are. Someone will have them one day. Someone will get them. Will those be worth more? Possibly.
So when you talk about the Masters trophies and all sorts of this unique memorabilia, what's like a typical way that you guys even get the product to auction off? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, it really depends. I mean, a lot of people assume it's a player dies, passes away, maybe their family gives it to us, and while that happens, that's more rare. A lot of this stuff has been out there. It has been in collections, especially any of the older stuff, and we've kind of created this marketplace where people can buy and sell this stuff. So even if it's a unique $200 item, it's not all the really expensive stuff, but that unique $200 item, but has a cool piece of golf history, we're going to be the marketplace that you're going to sell that. We're going to be the auction, and eBay's not as great for something like that. Instead, you go find a golf-centric marketplace like us, where that's who we reach. We reach the guys that geek out on golf like we both do. And
you said you don't do a lot of auctions per year, only like 3 to 4?
Correct, yeah. I kind of believe in making it a special event. I don't want to be the 24-hour, one-stop shop for all things golf. We've kind of created this, really kind of fanatical base of people that a lot of times they don't even know when our auctions are going to be. They've kind of figured it out, what we do, but we will, send an email blast out and post on social media, basically, hey, we're back, we've got an auction. And until then, there's been no auction preview. You don't know what we have. And though I did let the Tiger putter out a couple days early, but then it becomes a fun thing where everyone shows up, and whatever your collecting interests are, it's fun to see whether we have something that you like. We have 800 or 1,000 lots in the auction. Some will be $25, some will be $25,000, and it's all competitive bidding. So it's up to the bidders to decide what they're worth, and we just put them up there, and so it becomes a fun thing. We have a website that is, we don't track the stickiness of it, how long people stay on it, but it's quite long, because people that, even if they're not going to buy anything, like to read about the history, read about the cool items.
I'll let you plug it real quick. What's the website called?
It's Golden Age Golf Auctions, and it's got an auction going right now, and something for everybody, whether it's a Father's Day gift or whether it's something that you'll hold on to and cherish yourself forever. We got some cool stuff.
So you are the co-founder. How did you get involved with this, and when?
I just love golf, and I love golf history. We started the company 16 years ago. At the time, we were called Green Jacket Auctions, and we changed that name a couple years ago. We have always been doing the same thing. Our first auction looked kind of similar to now, just the items weren't as expensive. We didn't have as many connections, and nobody knew who we were. But we did it. We've done it for like 16 years now, making these special event auctions, and man, it's just fun. I love the stuff on my own. There was no marketplace that was doing this. eBay's so buyer beware. Instead, we kind of collect the item, authenticate it, curate it, and then we're controlling that and controlling what's out there and making sure the information is correct on it.
Is that authentication process difficult? Do items get turned away? Do you get fakes sometimes?
Absolutely, yeah. That's the tough part. It used to be Tiger Woods autographs. We used to just you get to the point where we'll pretty much never accept a Tiger Woods autograph and a lot of other autographs unless there's a couple third-party graders that are kind of trusted in the industry, PSA, JSA. PSA is the one that slaps cards you might be familiar with.
Yep.
And so if one of those signs off it, then the industry is accepting that as authentic. Is it 100% authentic? No, we're getting it to at least probably a 95% chance it's real there. If it's not authenticated, we just won't touch it. And so in the earlier days, with Tiger, it was so hot when we started that a lot of auction houses were getting fooled by a lot of fake Tiger stuff, and we just wouldn't do it. And so we just never cut corners in that way and make sure we authenticate things. And other items, listen, if it's an old photograph, you find a photography expert to help you. You've probably all seen Pawn Stars and
Pawn Stars, bringing the expert.
Bringing the expert, and that's what we do, the same thing. We just do it behind the scenes.
Do you ever have items come through where it's like you personally are just like, I need to have that, I'm sorry, I can't auction it?
Yes.
Like I need to make a bid on
yes,
this.
Absolutely. I had for years, I actually sold it, but I'll tell you why, but I had a Marion Wicker, the Wicker Standard, their flag.
Very cool.
I love flags, and this is like the non-flag flag, and so I always wanted a Marion Wicker. I found a Marion Wicker for a guy that used to work for the old superintendent, had it in the corner of my house for years, but it is huge. It is abnormally tall, and the wicker's on top of it, and of course you got to go down into the cup a little bit. So in the corner of my room, it's like almost to the ceiling. So it worked in theory, but I wish it was like 4 feet shorter. So I don't have it anymore, but it went to a good friend of mine that's a collector that was basically begging for it for years, and so that was one item I had to keep. But yeah, all the time.
What's been your favorite item that's been up on the site? I know that's like a crazy hard question.
Man,
if one sticks out in your brain where it's like, I'm proud that we had that auctioned on our site.
I do love anything Tiger Woods. I do love anything. The Tiger backup is really special to me. Yeah, that's something really special. We had, I also like some of the moments that we've been able to help out the people that have consigned it to us. For instance, someone in Augusta, Georgia years ago moved into a new house, and in the garage were a bunch of old golf clubs, a bunch of old golf bags that were left in the house they purchased, and included a bag that had General Dwight Eisenhower's name on it. And then in the head cover had Augusta National Dwight Eisenhower, and the clubs were all custom Dwight Eisenhower. And so we don't know how they got there, we don't know why. There was no direct Eisenhower connection that we could find with that house they purchased, but the clubs were 100% legit. And so those are now owned by the USGA and in the USGA museum. So it was kind of cool to see that happen. And those people got about half the value of the house they purchased in just those clubs. So it was a cool moment.
I got to ask a personal question here. How much Michael Jordan stuff have you gotten? Because I'm a huge Jordan guy. I know you got something on there.
Yeah, so I know you are. I know Jay Wall is. We bond over that for sure. I've got. I only collect Jordan basketball cards from the years he played for the Bulls, which roughly aligns with when I collected when I was younger. And so up to 1998, I have over 2,000 different of his cards. So I haven't counted in a while. I've got a nice little spreadsheet going though.
It's a serious collection.
It's pretty decent.
I don't have a collection like Jay Wall. Jay Wall's got a pretty serious. He's got the original rookie card. I don't know if he wants me talking.
He's
about
quality
this
over quantity. I kind of envy the way he does it. I
know.
want to buy everything. I want to buy every card I don't have. And value-wise, I'm sure my collection is very valuable now because everything's gone up a lot. But Jay Wall has like the wow cards.
I know. Yeah. He'll send me photos and I'll be like, how did you get that? And he'll be like, well, I was really focusing on getting this card for a while, and
He's a
finally
plan.
got it.
He has a plan, yeah.
I don't have a plan. I just let it rip on eBay. I
Yeah.
just start buying stuff up. I'm like, ooh,
Exact same.
I like
Exact
that card
same.
when I was younger.
Exact same.
So this was such a treasure, such a treat and a pleasure to hit all these putters. I can't believe you let me hit the Tiger backup.
Yeah,
Were you
hopefully-
nervous?
I don't see. I got to figure the guy selling it. This is good for him. He's not going to own it anymore.
Right.
The guy who is going to own it next hasn't even paid for it yet. Doesn't even know he's going to win it yet. Might not have bid on it yet. So I feel like I'm in this 2-week period where I'm allowed to let you hit it. I feel like I have control over that, and I hope that nobody gets mad at me for it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. It was worth the drive for me. Tiger's putter is just so special.
Yeah.
It feels so soft, it looks so pure, so perfect. It's more pure than the putter he uses himself. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's. I mean, cool. It's amazing. I wonder. We were talking about, has anybody even hit it since maybe Tiger practiced with it at Scotty Cameron's studio? 20 years ago.
It's just me and Tiger who've hit the putter.
Yeah, I don't
great.
know. Maybe once it back. I don't know.
So it's currently up for auction right now.
Yes, it is.
And how long does that typically
Auction
last?
ends August 28th on Saturday. We'll see some interesting bidding the last day, I think, for it. Right now, it's about getting the word out, making people know it's up for auction. Like I said, it's got this cross appeal where I want people that even aren't Scotty Cameron collectors, that aren't Tiger Woods collectors, they would not identify as that, but they want to own one of the best modern pieces of golf memorabilia.
Well, go on and check it out if you're interested. It's out of my price range personally, unfortunately, but
I think I saw some of those Michael Jordan cards.
yeah, right. Especially J-Wall's collections too. Those are out of my budget range as well.
J-Wall, buy it.
Well, thank you for joining us, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
All right.